Hi everyone, welcome to the very last video in this series from Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. We have this pretty little vine to do to just finish off, and I've got to have a look. I'm looking at this one which is very similar and trying to think about doing it in a slightly different way so it's not the same. So I shall have a think, and while I chatter, we're using our Castle Arts Botanical pencils. The big reveal, what am I doing for the border? I'm going to use a gold pen, a gold Posca pen, acrylic. That's what I'm going to use for my border. I'm not going to do that on video. I should do it when I'm editing this. It'll give me something to do, and I'll do it then, and I will show a completed picture of the double page spread on my Instagram and my Facebook, and that will appear it'll probably appear tomorrow morning on Instagram and tonight on Facebook in my time, so you'll see it fairly soon. But let's crack on. Now the grass, I'm looking at what's been done here. I'm going to do something different, as I said, so let's come in a bit closer so you can actually see what I'm doing, because it's quite fine, isn't it, the grass? Alright, I'm coming in as far as I can. There we go. Right, I'm going to do the grass in oxide of chrome, because I know that isn't how it was done on the other page. So I'm going to start at the bottom with more layers and just lighten it up a little bit towards the tip. And do that the same for all of them. All the way along. I was holding my breath then. I don't know why. So I'm just going to go back along and make sure those bottom parts are quite intense, because I'm just going to lighten the tips slightly with the leaf green light. You can use a yellow for this as well if you wish, or not do it at all if you don't want to. It is quite fine work. There we go. Now I've decided that because the over here it's sort of regular greens, it looks like I've used sap green, permanent green, something like that. I'm going to use the viridian and the phthalo green lights. We get a very different type of green. So I'm going to use the viridian to start with for all the vine work. Now it's quite fine, so I'm not going to worry too much about light and shade, but I've made it darker at the bottom here and it's a bit lighter here. This tendril here I'm making darker here and lighter there, and I'm going to make that darker towards the edge of the leaf. Okay, and then up. How much can you see? Okay, keeping this reasonably light as we go up, and then from here that's going to be a bit darker there, like that, and here darker on the end, a bit lighter there. That's that, and we'll do the other ones as well before we move on and do the leaves. So dark and then a bit lighter. I'm trying to do it slightly darker near the ends of the tendrils and near where it joins the leaf, and then a bit lighter for the rest. I don't know quite how visible it is, but it makes a little bit, actually I can see it in camera, it's a bit of a difference. Here's our next one. Basically got 4 pieces here, and it's all going to be fairly similar, but makes it relaxing sometimes. I find if you've got a similar repeating thing, it means that you don't have to keep thinking about what to do, because it's all the same, which is That's nice. And our last one. This looks like ivy to me. But I don't know if that's what it is. Now I might put some of the lighter green on these vines, or I might just leave them. Oh, the sun's coming out. I could really do with going for a walk. I haven't been for a bit. But anyway, we'll see. Right, leaves. I'm going to make the leaves darker here and then lighter towards the tip. I'm going to leave that bit. We're going to come in with the second colour later. So just layer it up a bit nearer to the vine. I'm also thinking about the background colour. I was thinking pink, but I've done pink. So maybe mauve. Maybe mauve. I think it would match. Yeah. Gosh, you think I started the right hand page 2 years ago, and I've done hardly any work in this book since, really, only a few pages. But I've got another page I want to do this month for me. I did a page with Ivy's face to try out my Black Widow skin tone pencils, and the opposite page needs to match, and I'm going to do that, I think, at some point, maybe even this weekend, although I have to make sure the I do the pen for the back of this, for the edge of this first, and it needs to dry. I just don't want to shut the book with wet pen, although no, because the borders don't line up. This outside edge might line up with this outside edge, but the each little square isn't the same size, so it could be a complete disaster. I always, if I use any sort of pen, I always leave it to dry for overnight so that I'm absolutely sure I'm not going to be smudging anything. Okay, now I'm going to grab the phthalo green light and finish off. So I'm going to do, I just realised I coloured that and didn't show you. I'm sorry, I didn't move the book, did I? Oh dear. So I'm just going to colour over the lighter areas. I hadn't decided whether to do the vine, but I think it needs it. I think this would look better if the this green was a slightly lighter shade, but we need a bluey green to sort of match in. So it's all we've got. If you've got the full set of castles, then you might pick something a bit lighter, a mint green maybe, or maybe the teal might work. I'm not sure, it might be a bit too bluey. There we go. I'm just doing it quite gently because I want us to still be able to see that there is a difference in colour. Yeah, I'm sorry you didn't see that top one, I forgot to move the book. It happens. I haven't done it for a long time, but anyway, these things happen. I remember I used to do it a fair bit, and then I watched a live from Johanna Basford and she did it, and I was quite relieved that it's not just me. You know, I realise she isn't like a, she's not really used to doing these online things, so, and I am, so I haven't really got an excuse. But, you know. Right, I'm going to do the background now, as I said, in mauve, but I'm going to come right out. You do. There we go. It's just going to be plain colouring, and so you can colour along Let's come a bit closer so you can read it. So I hope everyone's doing okay. I hope you're doing some colouring today, whether you're doing it now while you're watching, whether it's this or something else, or whether you're making some time or for another relaxing hobby or craft or whatever that you do. I know some people have lots of different hobbies, they don't have time to colour every day, but it's not something they aim for, whereas I don't have any other hobbies really, apart from sort of popping out walking and things. So colouring is my thing, so I make sure I do some every day. Some days it's only 5 minutes, but most days it's a lot more, perhaps nearly all day. So even when I'm editing videos I try and do a bit, because well, editing is boring. Often it's just exporting or importing and files and things. There's nothing to do. Don't just sit there and watch it. But I make my thumbnails and then crop the pictures, the photos of each bit, and then that's that. So it isn't too much work. Okay, it's quite quick this, but this particular purple is going down quite smoothly. It's quite pale, but I'm going to not worry about doing a second layer. I quite like that it's pale. And it looks quite different to this side. If I do another layer it might be the same darkness as that, and I think it's quite nice that it looks different. Now, as I say, I've just gone over the line again like I did with the crown there. It doesn't matter because I'll be putting a gold pen over that. I shall use my Posca pen. I've got a fairly new one, so it should be nice and full, but you can use any gold pen. Of course you don't have to do it gold, you want to do something completely different. Okay, so there is that one. Let's zoom out a little bit so you can see this whole page. There's the whole page. And I expect it would be nice to see the whole double page, wouldn't it? Let's take that out actually. There we go. But of course I haven't finished it yet. As I say, I will put a gold border and I will retake a photo so that you can see. But there we go. I'm just having a look and trying to choose my favourite picture. I like the key, I like the door. I like these better. Why do I like... Maybe that's why I did that page, because I prefer it. I like this crown though. That was fun. So yeah, it's I just love colouring doors. So that's that one. But there we go. There is the complete page. So that's rather fun. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I hope you have a super day. And yeah, see you tomorrow for the next series, whatever that might be. But for now, have a good day and happy colouring.